Egypt's interim government has announced that the presidential election has been moved forward. Interim President Adly Mansour announced the decision in a televised speech. This means parliamentary polls will happen later and not first, as originally envisaged by the military-backed authorities. The presidential election has to take place by the 18th of April. The move is likely to intensify speculation that Army Chief General al-Sisi will stand. Mohammed Morsi was Egypt's first democratically elected president, but was deposed last July after mass protests. Egyptians marked the third anniversary of the ousting of Hosni Mubarak on Saturday. Many waved flags and banners depicting the army chief. Parliamentary elections are now set to be held before the end of July. The news comes after the country's new constitution came into effect on the 18th of January, days after a two-day referendum was held, which saw voters approve it by 98.1%. The country has been shaken by civil unrest since Morsi's ouster, with over 1,000 protesters killed in a government crackdown on the Muslim Brotherhood and liberal opponents, and militants waging a bombing campaign against the security forces. In downtown Cairo, reactions to the announcement were mixed. One man said electing a president first would put in place an unaccountable head of state.
This is the wrong direction. First, there should be parliamentary elections because they provide oversight of the president, and he is supposed to swear an oath of office in front of them.
Another local said there was a risk Egypt could fall into dictatorship.
It is not acceptable to move the elections forward, so why did we have a revolution? Parliament should come first, and then after that the presidential elections. It is not acceptable for us to return to dictatorship and the heartache that we're in now.
Saturday's celebrations in Tahrir Square were dominated by supporters of the military and the police using force to prevent any government opponents from reaching the square. At least 49 people, both supporters of Morsi and liberal anti-government activists, were killed. It was Morsi who appointed General al-Sisi, General Commander of the Armed Forces and Defense Minister, back in August 2012. It was seen as an attempt to reclaim political power from the military, which had seized control after Mubarak was ousted. But it was the general who warned Morsi of more army intervention if the government failed to respond to the will of the people, following massive nationwide protests. 2 days later, on the 3rd of July, he announced that Morsi did not meet the demands of the masses.